Hey, what's up guys? It's Pedro here from newcoder.com and welcome to part 3 of building our CRUD application from scratch. So in this tutorial, we're going to be covering our server-side update portion of our CRUD application. So to get started, let's actually code our route. So I'm just going to say app.put and I'm going to pass in /:ID. Now this is going to be our route param, and ID is going to be the primary key of the document that we wish to update. Next, we're going to pass in our function. So I'm just going to say request and response. Now from here, let's actually get the ID. So I'm just going to say const to do ID is equal to request dot params dot ID. Next, what I want to do is actually get the user's input, and that's going to be found in the request.body. The user is going to be sending us JSON. So I'm just going to say const user input is equal to request.body. Now from here, let's actually connect to our database. So I'm just going to say db.getDB. Then we're going to call our collection, which is our to-do collection. Now from here, I'm going to call a function called find one and update. And the first argument is going to be the query object. So what do we want to find by? So we're going to find by the ID. So I'm just going to pass in ID, and I'm just going to pass in to do. Next, what we want to do is pass in the document that we want to update with. So I'm just going to say set, and I'm going to say to do colon user input dot to do. Next, what I want to do is pass in an option. And the option that I want is I want the return original to be set to false. So I'm just going to say return original, and we're going to set that to false. Let me just move this here. Now from here, we're going to pass in our callback function. So I'm just going to say error, and we're going to get the result. So now let's scroll down here, and from here we could test if there was any errors, and I'm just going to print it out onto the console. But traditionally you would want to send something back to the user to let the user know that, hey, when we tried to update the document that you wanted, we couldn't fulfill that request. So now I'm just going to say else. So if everything went well, we're going to be sending that data back to the user in JSON format. So I'm just going to say result. So now let's add a semicolon here, and let's just double check this. And all of this looks good. So let's actually test this out. So I'm going to open up the terminal and clear the terminal, node app. Let's start up our application. We're going to go to Postman, and you can see here that I already have this set up. So the URL is localhost port 3000. This is the ID of one of the documents that I have currently. We're making a put request. We're sending back JSON data here. So you can see here. And this is the data that we're sending back. And we can make this whatever we want. So let's just change this to clean something for tutorial. All right, so this is going to be our to-do. And I'm going to go here and make a request. So I'm just going to hit send, and you can see that we get an error, and right away I already know what's going on. So when we passed in our to do, this is a string. We want an object ID object. So I'm going to call db.getPrimaryKey. We're going to pass in the ID of this to do. I'm going to save this. Let's actually cancel this, node app. Rerun our application. We're going to go to Postman again. And this time, let's actually go over the response we got. So it said the number that we found was equal to 0. And that's because we didn't pass the right ID for the primary key. So now if I send this, this number should be 1, and updated existing should be equal to true. So let's send it. And you can see right here, the number that we've updated is 1. This document did indeed exist within our database, so it's true. And you can see the values that we have. The ID is still the same, but we've updated it to clean something for a tutorial. And if we hit another thing, let's actually make sure that this update is working. And we're going to say change to something else. I'm going to hit send one more time. And you can see the ID is the exact same thing, but we've changed the to-do to change to something else.